All right, today we're going to be working on the hand strikes for the purple belt test. So if you're an orange belt going to purple, these are the strikes you're going to need to know with your hands. Also the block. There's one block that you're going to be learning for this belt level. We're going to start with our knife hand, palm up. So a knife hand strike is going to be using the edge of your hand right here. You want to make sure that you're using not your pinky, but down here between the bottom knuckle of your pinky and the bottom of your wrist right here. This is the area you're using. There's actually kind of a cool little muscle there. You can kind of see it on my hand. It's squishy. The more you train it, it gets pretty hard. It's what we use for hammer fists as well. So that's what we're going to be using today, is that part of the hand. Now, when you do a knife hand, it's important that you think about several things. Number one, you want good wrist alignment. If your wrist is this way or this way, it's not going to work well. You don't want to flop it. You want to make sure that it's well aligned with the rest of your arm. Then you want to think about making sure that your fingers are connected together. If they're out here like this, then when you hit, they kind of flop together, and so you don't have a good solid hand. So you want to make sure they're here. And then your thumb is backing up these knuckles here. So if you think about your thumb, if it's out here, these knuckles are allowed to move, right? They have some room to shift. So instead, you want to pull that thumb in and use it as a support for the rest of those fingers. Some people like to curve their fingers slightly so that it gives them a little bit more rigidity. When I strike, I have a slight curve to my fingers as well. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to be doing a palm up knife hand strike. When I ask you to do this in class, I'm usually asking you to do it off the backhand. This is our power strike. Boom. And I'm asking you to do it on a horizontal plane. So you're going to start with your back leg, your back hand, your reverse hand, okay? You're going to simply pull it up like you're going to do an inside block. Then your elbow drops, your hand opens, and you come around, boom, just like you're serving something on a plate. Boom, except really fast. So here it goes. Hana, duel, set, whoosh. That's what I'm looking for right there. Is that circular motion. As you get better at this, it becomes more and more straight. So it almost becomes like a palm strike with your hand up. This can be done at a downward angle. This can be done at a reverse angle here, but we're going to talk about that here in just a minute, okay? So that's your knife hand palm up. If I were to do that on Mr. Bob here, target areas are going to be jawline, neck, striking downward into the clavicle right here, or I can strike upward into the body. So downward into the jaw, cross into the neck, downward into the clavicle, the collarbone right here, or upward into the body. Okay? Those are kind of the areas that you're going to be striking with this knife hand palm up. Okay? Now, the palm down is pretty much the same striking area, same surfaces and everything, even the same target areas for the most part. The only difference is that your palm is down, and this is a somewhat less powerful strike because I'm asking you to do it off of your front hand. So if you're in your fighting stance here, you're going to be here and then boom, striking either horizontally or downward with this strike. Same hand position, you're still striking with this part of your hand right here. You're just pulling it back, boom, and striking. I like to use this as a diagonal palm down into the collarbone, down into the jaw, up to the temple here is fine. You can go downward toward the kidneys right here on the sides. Those are also good striking areas going here. But what I'm thinking on this one is that this is a faster strike. Boom, it's not necessarily this big, huge, crazy motion, okay? So make sure that you, boom, it's a fast motion. It's with the front hand. You could absolutely make this a power strike. That's not what I'm going for in this particular belt level. Okay, the next technique is very, very similar. It's a back fist. The thing you need to know about a back fist is that you do not want to strike with your fist flat. Usually when I have you guys punch, I have you punch with your wrist nice and flat. Instead, I want you to kick your knuckles up just a little bit so that when you strike something, you hit with your knuckles first. So that kind of breaks the surface of whatever you're hitting first to give you a little bit less of a slap and more of an impact. So whenever I strike Mr. Bob, I don't want to strike, boom, flat like this. I want to strike here with my knuckles going in first, okay? I'm going to turn so you can see me do that on his chest right here. Boom, into the chest. The knuckles are striking first. We're using the front hand for this. We pull it back, strike across. As you do that, engage your hips. Pull it back, hips, then arm. Boom. As you get faster at this, it should become more like a whip. You should flow back and extend through, okay? Full speed. That's what you're looking for, okay? There's your back fist. Double outer forearm block is your flinch block, okay? This kind of scared person motion, right? So whenever we do our flinch block, bad guys coming to attack us and we're, boom, here. We're going to formalize that a little bit because I want you to learn good body structure. What you're going to be doing is almost like a double high block, but it's more forward, almost in an A frame. If you think about making an A here, boom, right here. This is your double forearm block, okay? Double outer forearm block. Bam, it's usually moving back or moving directly into a target. Boom, here to use as a guarding motion, or say this one big strike is coming around and boom, I'm taking that strike with both my hands here, okay? You're using the outer forearm, not the muscle here, and not the back of your hand. If you use the back of your hand, it's likely you'll hit yourself in the face. Instead, you want to use this because you have much more pushing power this direction than you do this direction. There are your hand strikes and blocks for your purple belt.